Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to another video about Fallout 76. And there's been a recent trend here on the internet. Everybody seems to be reveling in the hatred for Fallout 76. They're reveling in the downfall of Battlefield 5 is another game, that not doing so well. Not doing so well at all. They're really doing a lot of damage control. Now, Battlefield 5, there's no surprise there. We all know that that was going to go the way that it did. When you basically tell your audience to go fuck themselves, they're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. Now, Fallout 76, I am a huge fan of Fallout series. I've talked about New Vegas on here. I've talked about 3 and 4. 4 was a great game. I mean, it's still one of the best games of this current generation of consoles. I mean, if you haven't played it, I wholeheartedly recommend it. Bethesda is an excellent developer. They've made some really great games over the years. They've also worked on Knights of the Old Republic 2. When BioWare couldn't develop the game, Bethesda stepped in, and they did a really good job with that one. So, the really funny thing is that why did this game go so wrong as it did? Where did they fuck up? Well, I said one of the things that they did was decide to make this game online-only game. Which I said, I've always been very critical of online gaming. I know a lot of people are, very into it and do it all the time. But I don't really like to play online. It's just not one of my thing. I'm not a big multiplayer kind of person. Once, local multiplayer games, kind of went out the window, went out of style, I kind of went with it. So, Fallout 76 has been a really big disaster. The game came out, it was super glitchy, super disappointing. And, there's been people asking for refunds, asking Bethesda, can I have a refund? They promised one guy a refund and retracted the promise. So, now you've got, big patches coming out for the game. There was a day one patch that was like 50-something gigs, and I talked about that in the previous video about, look at it. The guy denied a refund in GameStop. The guy trashed the whole store. Now, some people have the nerve to kind of explain this and say that, well, this is what happens when Bethesda doesn't deliver a good game. There was no good reason for anybody to do that. But to ask for a refund for a PC game that is very, very flawed from the company who made it, it's unreasonable to go to a retailer and ask for a refund because they didn't make the fucking game. But when you're asking Bethesda themselves to, give you a refund for a shitty fucking game, that it's not just that the game is bad. Like, let me explain something, and I've said this a number of times about games. The current gaming age in which we live in, games don't come out ready a lot of the time. They're still like in beta. They're not ready to go. They're not a complete game. Now, I need to really explain something to a lot of people. See this game right? I did this in the previous one, but we need to explain this one more time. You see this game right here? This is Super Mario Brothers for Super Nintendo. This game right here, this is it. When Nintendo released this bad boy for the NES back in the day, that was it. This game right here, it was done. The cartridge, that little chip inside there, all the data that's contained within, that's the game. It's not being expanded upon. There's no chance of an update. Nothing like that is going to happen to the game because it's done. It's in a finished state. There is no altering this particular game. Understand? That's it. So I feel that gaming companies should still keep that ideology in their minds, even though it is possible now. The way systems are now hooked up to the internet, and they have found a way to update games, patch them up, add content, DLC, you name it. They should still treat these games like one of these. They should still treat it like the game is untouchable. It is sealed up in here. It cannot be altered. The only way they would be able to alter is if they made a whole new fucking game. So, with that in mind, I feel that's how they should be developing games now. Battlefield 5, the same example. Comes out, they need a day one patch. Mass Effect Andromeda, which I have to say is an excellent game. A game that I own. A game that I was actually playing a few days ago. It's an excellent game. But when it came out, I mean, they really fucked up and they had a lot of glitches and everything. But at least at the end of the day, that ended up being a good game that had a campaign and it wasn't just online. So it was pretty easy for them to fix. It wasn't like they had to manage a whole online, massive multiplayer online type of thing going on. That's why it's so challenging, because they decided to take that route with that particular game. So you've got that going on, and there's two stories out of this that need to be discussed. The first is a lawsuit that is going to probably be brought up against them, and if it is, I would be in full support of it, because the thing is, it's when you release a game and you're charging people $60 for it, you should be held to a certain standard. You should have to back up a lot of promises, because that's called false advertising. Yeah, that's a real old chestnut right there. That a lot of people don't get held to, but apparently, because this situation has caused such outrage, finally, that old chestnut is going to be opened up, and finally we're going to get to the nut inside, and that nut is Bethesda and what they have perpetrated upon their customers. So a law firm has gotten a hold of this current situation. They've been informed of what's been going on, and they're currently investigating it. It's Migliaccio and Raythod LLP. And this article is from Game Revolution. You can find this article anywhere, really, on the internet. All the websites are reporting on it. And they are currently investigating Bethesda Game Studios for releasing a heavily glitched game, Fallout 76, and refusing to issue refunds for PC purchasers of the game who found it to be unplayable because of its technical problems. While minor bugs and glitches are expected in the release of most new games, Fallout 76 launched with a 56 gigabyte patch, so there's the exact number of gigs there for you, that has proven to be but a starting point for the game's problems. Gamers who have tried to receive a refund because of the game's myriad glitches have been unable to do so since they downloaded the game, leaving them to deal with an unplayable experience until patches bring it back to a playable state. I don't really know what, how it is on the consoles or anything. I think it's probably a better experience. I mean, because when it's on PC, there's so many factors at play. There's so many different things going on, and you really need to make sure that your game is up and running, and you gotta really make sure that everything is spot on, because PC's, I think, more delicate. And I think that's like a lot of people such as myself don't want to, because the console kind of takes care of everything for you. The graphics card, whenever I play on PC, I've never really had, honestly, a very powerful PC, but there's stuttering going on, there's so many different things, there's buffering. It's just, oh god, it's just that's why I choose to go with the consoles. So they're being investigated right now, and I don't know, they'll probably end up selling out of court or whatever it is. They're going to probably give refunds to whoever wants them, and I need to ask the question, why does it even need to come to this? Why does it even need to come to this? Because I'll tell you why. You know, they are so fucking stubborn because they don't want to lose the money of refunding the millions of people who bought the game. But here's the thing. It all comes back to this. You should have taken this mentality. You should have finished the damn game. If it wasn't ready to hit the market, fuck getting there first thing for the holidays and trying to compete. Just to show how big of a disaster the Fallout 76 whole launch and, you know, what's going on right now with the game currently. They, you know, like all big AAA titles, you know, they want to get every ounce of money they possibly can. So they offered a big package deal, a, you know, big, you know, launch bundle package for $200 for $199, obviously, plus tax, of course. You could get this big map, you could get this helmet, this, you know, power armor helmet, and you could get this bag, which was promised to be a canvas bag. It was supposed to be a really nice, high-quality bag. I mean, you know, you're paying $200. The game is only worth $60, $65 with tax. You know, so you're getting this helmet. I don't know what that's made out of, but they promised a canvas bag. So when people went to go get this, or they got it shipped to their house, whatever the fuck happened, the bag ended up being made out of some cheap nylon material, and it wasn't what was pictured. It wasn't what was promised. Again, they fucked up. And what did they do? They issued an apology. They says, oh, well, it would have been too expensive to make. Once again, no refunds, no restitution of any kind, you know, nothing taken, no steps taken by Bethesda to right this wrong. It's like, what a runaway train. It's like, first you're going to fuck them up with a shitty game, and then you're going to, like, advertise a package and not deliver on what was promised in said package. It's like, wow, how the fuck did they fuck up this launch so badly? I mean, this is a good gaming company. They've made some of the greatest games of the modern era. They are masters at making, you know, great story-driven games, you know, with great locales and great scenery and, you know, great graphics. It's always a lot of great stuff to look at, interesting characters. So there shouldn't be an issue here. I mean, Bethesda's on the case. That should be it. That should be a great game right from the start once you say that they're the developer. Okay, the only problem is here, it's like, once again, they were rushing their fucking game out. They made a whole bunch of problems for the game, for the $200 package that they advertised, and, well, lo and behold, they couldn't keep those promises. They couldn't hold true to what they said they were going to give their fans, and it's like, it's just funny, it's like they couldn't even deliver on a fucking bag. That's how pathetic this all was. I mean, and now it's going to end with, wow, this is pretty unique, like a class action lawsuit against them. I mean, like, this is good. This is really, really good for the gaming industry because, I mean, this has been a fucking turbulent year, 2018. There's been a lot of stuff. You want to talk about, like, No Man's Sky. I've never played it. But it's getting out of hand. They need to stop releasing these unfinished fucking games and little by little adding to them. It's like I said in a previous video. The systems, people like me who purchased the Xbox One launch model, we don't have that much storage space. You gave us 500 gigs to deal with. And, you know, it's like, I want to buy this game. I want to play it just to check it out, just to see how it is, just to see how bad it is. I am genuinely curious to see how it is. But, I mean, it's like, you know, first of all, you're telling me I gotta go online. You're forcing me to do something that, like, a lot of gamers are still not very comfortable with. It's not just me. But, you know, it's like, man, I also don't want to purchase it based on these practices. It's one thing if it was a fucking bad game. But, man, I mean, it's like, not only that, it's an unfinished game. I don't like that. It's like, I feel like it's almost like, oh, we're not really confident in this game, so we're not going to finish it. Because that way, you know, you're going to buy it because it's out, and you're going to expect it to get better over time. So, you know, by the time you realize, oh, this really is just a shitty game, it's too late. We already have your money. You see what's going on there? That right there, that's the strategy. That's, I think, from day one, what they intended. That's what they wanted to do. That's really what they had planned from the start, I think. It's just, you know, not just Bethesda. I'm not just blaming them. But it's almost everything from, you know, EA and all that. It's like, you know, they got the idea long ago that it's like, you know, DLC. Oh, that's great. You know, we could add to the game afterwards. And that's all fine and well. You know what I mean? I still remember downloading my first piece of DLC. And that was, and I think it might have been a song for Rock Band too. I don't know if it was or not. But I remember like the first piece of DLC that I somewhat enjoyed was Resident Evil 5. You know, but that game was finished. Somewhere along the way, developers lost their way and said, hey, you know what? We don't even have to finish our games anymore because we could just put the game out and then finish it as it's out. It's like Mario's just staring at me. Just fucking looking at me. Just looking at all of us, just saying, what the fuck have you done to the gaming industry? What have you done? And, you know, I don't know if anybody's checked out my social media as of late, but I have picked up a Switch and I am intending on reviewing latest Pokemon game that's out right now. Now you see what the difference is here between Fallout 76 or Battlefield 5 or any of that shit. People complain about this game, saying it's not like the core Pokemon titles, but there's only one problem with that and comparing it and, you know, all the other games that are causing a fucking fiasco now. This game is finished. Those games are not. Whether you don't like this game or not, at least you can fucking say that it's fucking finished, that it's fucking done, that it's fucking complete, that they actually, you know, took the time to give the game an ending, that the game's not all glitched out, it plays smoothly. And that's something that Fallout 76 can't say. Oh, and guess what? I don't have to play the game online. I can play it offline. Wow. You know, so they took their time with that game. They still made it out by the holiday season, though. But they made sure it was finished. They did take that precaution. At least they did that. Anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit a thumbs up. Please hit a thumbs down if you didn't. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of the content I've posted here. And thank you for watching, guys. Until next time.